We each have 6 books to cover, but instead of doing our normal type of wrap-up, we're going to do a March Madness style bracket.
Because we're so sports bally, obviously.
Yes.
But here's the twist. We're not going to control exactly what happens. We're using a spinner wheel for each elimination round. And by the end, we'll each only have one champion.
We are not choosing the winner, you are. Welcome to Espresso Shots and Epic Plots March Madness Tournament. I'm Diana.
And I'm her daughter Genevieve. Grab your favorite beverage and join us as we go head to head with our March reads. If you're like us and very unfamiliar with how sports bracket tournaments work, this isn't exactly like a true March Madness NCAA sports bracket. We're going to start by introducing our teams, i.e. the books that we read. Luckily we have the same number. And then we're going to, instead of doing head-to-head, because I thought that would be too difficult, we're going to have to keep narrowing our list of books smaller and smaller is what we're going to do.
Like the bracketing done at March Madness.
That is the closest to a bracket.
That we studied prior to making this
exactly.
film.
There were lots of questions to our husbands. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your teams?
All right. My first book is Brigands and Breadknives.
It's a team. It's not a book.
My first team. First up.
There you go.
First up is Brigands and Breadknives by Travis Baldree. This is the third in the Legends and Lattes series. This is a cozy, feel-good supporting team. Low drama, high chemistry, and somehow still putting up solid numbers with pure vibes and chuckles. It's a former adventurer trying to find her purpose in life, who gets pulled into trouble when past connections and new ambitions collide. Up next is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. This is a clutch, high-stakes thriller that keeps pulling off last-second plays. Every chapter feels like a buzzer beater you didn't see coming. A mother relives the past, moving backwards in time, desperate to understand and prevent her son from committing a shocking crime.
That one sounds good.
Next up, Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. This is a heavy-hitting, emotionally intense player. This one isn't here to entertain, it's here to make an impact and leave the crowd stunned. It is a memoir tracing one woman's journey through trauma, survival, and the fight to reclaim her voice and identity. After that, we have Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krempholtz. The redemption arc rookie, messy, unpredictable, but you can see the growth happening in real time, and you're rooting for the comeback. A former villain, determined to change her story, navigates reputation, relationships, and what it really means to be good. And in our last bracket, we have The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. A gritty, defense-first team, dark, sharp, and not afraid to get uncomfortable. But when it hits hard and blood will be drawn. It is a chilling, layered horror story that blends history and revenge as a man confronts violence, both past and present, on the American frontier. Our final team is The Book Club for Troublesome Women by Marie Bostwick. The ultimate team player squad, character-driven, heartfelt, and all about chemistry, connection, and long game storytelling. A group of women form a book club in the 60s that becomes a lifeline, helping them navigate personal struggles, friendship, and second chances.
That is a solid lineup you have there.
Thank you.
First up, we have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. A fan favorite all around. Charming, adventurous, and consistently delivering across the board with heart and style. A determined young woman sets out on a dangerous journey across a sea of magical spores to rescue the person she loves. The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, Dungeon Crawler Carl 6 by Matt Dinneman. Absolute chaos energy, fast-paced, unhinged, and putting up ridiculous numbers while barely following the rules of the game. Trapped in a deadly game-like dungeon, a man and his companions, one of which is a cat, must survive increasingly bizarre and brutal challenges to stay alive. An Arcane Inheritance by Camila Cole. This is a high potential rising star. Big magic, big ambition, and flashes of brilliance that hint at a powerful legacy in the making. A girl discovers a hidden magical legacy and must navigate a dangerous new world tied to her new Ivy League school's past. The Summer War by Naomi Novik. This is a disciplined high fantasy contender, strong fundamentals, immersive world building, and quietly stacking victories. In this novella, a young woman becomes entangled in political and magical conflict as tensions rise and war threatens to reshape everything she knows. And our final two teams, The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft, a smart strategic playmaker, clever, methodical, and building its wins through brains, not brute force. Brilliant magical investigators take on a complex case that pulls them into a world of royal secrets and strange power. And finally, we have Nona the Ninth, third in the Locked Tomb series by Tamsin Muir, a chaotic wildcard MVP, confusing, brilliant, and somehow playing an entirely different sport than everyone else, but still dominating. A girl with a mysterious past tries to live an ordinary life in a crumbling world while powerful forces close in around her.
All right.
These are our teams. So it's time to start eliminating. In our first round, we each have 6 books. I'm going to spin our spinner wheel, and we have to pick the 4 books that meet whatever prompt we spin on this reel.
Okay.
And these prompts are all about the reading experience.
Okay.
The prompts are, did you enjoy the book? So these are all about like your experience with reading the book. So did you enjoy it the most while you were reading it? The books that kept you engaged from page to page? The ones that were the easiest to pick back up? You weren't kind of like, ugh, I gotta read that, so I gotta finish that book. Your best overall rating experience, ones you might want to reread one day, one that surprised you while you were reading it, surprised you in a good way, I should say, and then one that you would recommend without even, you'd be like, oh yeah, I would totally recommend that. So we're starting with 6 and we're going down to the final 4.
Okay.
Actually, I guess it would be the Elite 8 because if I have 4 and you have 4, that's 8. Again, basketball is not our forte, so go ahead.
So I just tap to spin, huh?
And it makes fun noises. I don't know where my sound effects are.
Aww.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right. And it goes
that
like,
just in case?
Okay. So we need to narrow down our list to the 4 that kept us the most engaged page to page.
Okay. 4
So
books.
4 books that kept you the most engaged from page to page.
From page to page.
Yeah, let's go head to head. So what 4 did you think were the most engaging page to page?
First one on the top of my list, in no particular order, Violet Thistlewaite is not a villain anymore.
All right, so without spoiling anything.
Without spoiling anything, it was very cozy fun. I needed a cozy book. Good world building, fun characters.
And it sounds like it wasn't so cozy, because sometimes books are so cozy that they're not, like they're almost like boring.
No, it was interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but the author of Legends and Lattes and this author could put together a book and it'd be a lot of fun.
Okay. My first page to page, I kind of have to go with the novella because it's short and a little bit of a mystery novella about this magical world where there was a war happening between fairies and this guy that was rising up in the royal kingdom, and his kids were kind of in the thick of it, and there was just an interesting dynamic with the kids, and there was like a mystery, and then our main character gets stuck in this like pickle of a predicament, and it all worked out, and it did it all in like
Wow,
100 and some odd pages, like
one night.
125 pages. Yeah, exactly. For a novella, there was a lot of world building, there was a lot of plot, there was a lot of character in a small little package.
Nice. Okay, my second one was Nobody's Girl. She was one of the first and most vocal Epstein survivors, one of the first to really come out and be vocal about it. And she spent the remainder of her life in Australia.
So what made it a page turner?
I mean, it's trauma, pure and simple, but she was kind enough to, when it really got bad, she would stop and she'd say, "Phew, let's take a breather." That was tough, wasn't
like in
it?
the book.
She'd be like, "This is how I deal with it. I just focus on what I've got in front of me
interesting.
today."
Okay.
Yeah, it was a storyline that really interested me at the moment.
My next one, I'm going to go with Nona the Ninth. I've previously talked about Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth on this channel before, and this is, technically it's a series. It's going to be a quartet if the author ever makes it to writing the fourth one. Each book is written from the perspective of the title character, and each book feels like a completely different book. By the end of the book, you realize how they're all tied together. I think for me, it's a page turner because I know there's a deeper mystery and I just want to keep reading to know where it was all going, to know how it all tied together. If you remember, this is the Lesbian Necromancers in Space book, which I don't know why people say that. It's basically 9 planets that have different groups on them that are in charge of a different part of the world, the Empire, and the 9th house is in charge of the locked tomb. Some big weapon is that could kill the emperor is in the locked tomb. You spend a lot of the time in these books not really knowing what's going on, but wanting to read to figure it out. That's what I'll say.
My next one is the Book Club for Troublesome Women. This one is a real page turner for me, real engaging, because this is occurring from 1960 to, I would say, mid-60s. This is my mom's life.
Oh, okay.
And it is all about these 5 women going through what it is to be a woman in the 1960s. There's a little twist on all of them. It highlights the way things were. One of the women got a side gig writing articles for a woman's magazine, and she got her first paycheck, and she went to their bank with her paycheck filled out to her and said she wanted to open up a savings account, and they said, "We need your husband's signature."
Yeah.
And she was not able to open up her own account with her own money.
So you said it's 5 women?
Yeah.
So is each chapter written from a different woman's perspective?
It does change perspective. There is sort of a main woman, and she's the one who is the writer. She's the one who starts the book club.
Okay, because I know sometimes multi-POVs helps me
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
so I keep reading because I want it's like it goes to somebody else's perspective.
It does. It goes to each one of their POVs and gives you a little insight into their lives.
My next one is The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, Dungeon Crawler Carl number 6. I mean, I don't know what else wouldn't be a page turner about running through a level where you have to survive and get points. You would think that by the 6th...
This is the 6th book, and you're still enjoying them as much
I was about to say, other than Harry Potter, who is written by she who we shall not name, I don't think I've ever been committed to this long of a book series. I can't think of another one yet. And you'd think it would get repetitive, but it doesn't. And I notice in the last book and this book, Matt Dinniman is starting to employ some of that, a scene fades to black, and then you find out later in the story other things that happened that impact, choices that Carl made that come into play later. We do get a little bit of POV switching, more so in the epilogue and the prologue. They're getting closer. Things are getting more chaotic. They keep overcoming the system. It's still really enjoyable.
So there's only one more left?
That's published.
Okay.
The next one comes out in May. And that's not going to be, he said it's probably going to be 10 books.
And my last one was Wrong Place, Wrong Time. And this was a mystery. And it made me think, she wakes up the next morning, but it's the previous day. And every night she goes to bed, she wakes up, it is a previous day, but there at some point in time it jumps more than a day.
Oh, okay.
So she's trying to figure out why she's all of a sudden going backwards in time. It's sort of like a time travel, and she's very cognizant of not wanting to screw up the whole space-time continuum fabric of things.
Nice, good.
But she also has to figure out why her son committed this horrendous crime. It really was an evaluation of your life from a certain point in time.
Were you satisfied by the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a nice
quick page turner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last one is Tress and the Emerald Sea, Tress of the Emerald Sea, I never remember. This was my first Brandon Sanderson, and I was really surprised by his writing. It's very humorous. He does a lot of play on words. This is part of what they call, it's like his Casimir's Secret, whatever books. Like this one, it's about a girl that lives on essentially a rock that is surrounded by spores. The Emerald Sea is not...
It's another spores sea?
I know, right? I said that in our fantasy thing. I was like, we have a thing with spores apparently now, like in books and the video games and the TV shows. Anyway, it's called the Emerald Sea because she lives on the green spore sea. And the boy that she's in love with, his dad takes him away, like is trying to get him to marry higher up in the royal family. And so she goes after him because he loves her too and is like, don't worry, I'm not going to marry anyone. And then his father comes back and he's not there. So she has to go rescue him. And so she ventures to the Crimson Sea and the White Sea, and they're all different spores that do different things. And it's about a girl that comes out of her shell and becomes this like strong, independent woman. And I thought that, number one, Brandon Sanderson did a really good job of writing a female character. It had a really good ending. Like you might think that it would have this particular ending where she's like, oh, rescued by her true love, you know, but it's not. She remains a strong, independent character throughout. And I really enjoyed it. And just his silly writing, his play on words was humorous to me. So now you have to pick from these four. Your other books, they're gone. They're donezo.
Okay.
Now we're going to go from 4 to 2.
Okay.
And these prompts focus more on the impact or the stickiness, if you will. I'm going to put my books down.
Okay. The next prompts we're going to choose from are, which 2 books have you thought about the most since finishing? Have left the biggest emotional or mental impact? Have the most memorable characters or moments? Would you most want to revisit, reread, or continue the series? Feel the most distinct from everything else you read? Would you bring up first in a conversation about your March reading? Or stuck the landing the best, meaning the ending or the payoff or the overall arc of the story?
Okay. I'm so bummed my audio's not there. It has a very fun audio.
Does it go?
Yes, and then at the end it goes, yay! Did it? Oh, it did. Okay. See, look, there's even confetti. Okay, so which 2 from your 4 would you most want to revisit, reread, or continue the series? Or I also think of it like if the author wrote another book in...
Would you read it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so narrow it down.
Okay.
This isn't entirely cheating because these do have other books in the series, but I'm going to explain why. I've narrowed it down to Nona the Ninth and The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. So The Eye of the Bedlam Bride, he's not done. There's more levels. I know there's more levels. And I know that this book series is going to emotionally devastate me when I'm done reading it. I regularly get a little misty-eyed at some point when I'm reading these because Donut says the cutest stuff to Carl sometimes when he's about to go off and do something really dangerous. And,
Donut's a cat.
Yeah, and they're gonna stick together and they're always gonna do it together because he's constantly Donut, I get it. If you need to go, go. And she's like, no, we're gonna do this together.
Aww.
I'm with you. You know, it's adorable. Like I said, they're still remaining fresh. They're still fun. I could see rereading these or at least re-listening to them. They're very fun to listen to. I'm not tired yet. Nona the Ninth, it is not finished. I just think it's really fascinating how this author can write books that feel completely different but also be part of a series. I can't imagine what her storyboarding wall looks like because it really is not only do I take notes, but I have little post-it notes keeping track of characters. It feels like a mental puzzle, but in a good way. So I think this is actually going to be a series that I reread because there are aspects of it that once things are revealed, you almost want to go back and reread it to see what all the previous stuff in the book meant. So
Okay.
I could see, these are all about this size, and I could see rereading all of them again.
For the ones that I would most want to revisit or reread or continue a series would be Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Obviously, there's not going to be a continuation of her series, but there is quite a bit of information out there that still has not come out, and I can foresee sometime in the near future there will be a lot more published on this.
Did you end up down any rabbit holes while you were reading? Like start looking at things?
I can't wait to tell you about the rabbit holes I'm down right now, which takes me to my second choice, which is the book club for troublesome women, because a lot of the first book that they start their book club with is The Feminine Mystique. And so that book, it was one of the first shocking books about how women were not just like men and were not necessarily happy in their prescribed roles at that moment in time. It was one of those first breakout feminists books.
So I could see reading the books that they're reading, like they're reading actual books.
Most all of them have children. Only one of them doesn't have children. One of them's daughter has gone off to Oxford. She's going after some sort of literature degree or journalism or something. She's a writer as well. So to read her experience, I think it would be very interesting. I don't know if this is going to be a series or not, but I could see that continuing
like
on to see
era.
the generation in the 70s.
Bostwick, is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
There you go, Bostwick. Here's your idea. Here's your next book.
Yeah, please continue. But I did. I ended up going down multiple rabbit holes with both books that eventually have merged into a similar rabbit hole.
Okay. Round 3. Oh, this is the final 4 because you have 2 and I have 2.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And so now we have to get down to our one champion. And so these prompts are champion energy. So this is like best books.
Okay.
Now we have to pick the one book that is our March champion, like our ultimate contender, the one that you would recommend to the widest range of viewers. I think that's one to think about because there's books that I've read that I'm like, oh, I would not recommend that. The one that you would reread right now, like you just finished it, you would reread it, had the biggest overall impact. I think these are going to be hard if we get some of these prompts. The one you're still thinking about, the one that you're most excited to talk about, the one that you would give me, the one that best represents your reading month as a whole. So they're very different prompts. So I'm down to Nona and Carl. You're down to
Nobody's Girl and the book club.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
The audio will probably be there at some point. Okay.
You could put it in.
I could. It's a lot of work. Did it pop up? There it goes. Okay. Ooh. Which one would you reread first if you had to choose right now?
Ugh. I guess to reread, I would have to say the Nobody's Girl. It was an upsetting subject and it was a deep subject. She had a lot of insight and I'm sure I would get even more out of it if I were to reread it. Yeah,
that's true. Sometimes when I'm reading troubling things, I read quickly. Not that I skim, but I probably would miss some things just because I'm like, oh, this is so hard to read, something like that.
I know that this was a book that my mom got and tried to read, and she said she couldn't finish it. She couldn't read through it. Actually, it was a book that my husband bought, but he hasn't read it yet. But I'm glad that it's a book that men will pick up because they need to read this stuff as well so they can stop saying some of the things they're saying.
Mine would be Nona the Ninth because I love the Dungeon Crawler Carl books, but they're pretty straightforward. I'm sure there's stuff that I miss in those, but it doesn't matter that I miss them. There's a lot of terms and phrases and things and they come up, and if you need to remember them, they get explained later. You don't really feel like you need to hold on to every detail. I started annotating them and I was like, oh, this is pointless. There's no reason for me to annotate all this stuff. But with these books, there are people that read these and then immediately reread them because it's kind of like the equivalent of watching The Sixth Sense again. Once things are revealed, you're like, what? And then you go back and re-experience it. So So we've got our final 2. We've got Nona the Ninth and
Nobody's Girl. But we're not choosing the winner. you are.
Vote for the book that you think would be your best ultimate March Madness winner.
If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss anything that we put out in the future.
And until next time, happy reading. Am I missing all the bloopers right now? Is that,
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? Okay.
Okay. We are not choosing the winter.
I think I'm most excited to hear your sports announcer voices again.
Hey, I love that video. My first team book.
I didn't get, we don't have microphones this time. It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, did they?
No, we
All
have them.
right.
I'm not going to go get them now. It's not
Alrighty.
worth it. Oh, I thought it was Giuffre.
No, people always mess up her last
Wow. Okay, sorry. Do that again.
name. Okay. By Emily Krempholtz.
That's what I would have said.
Okay.
A fan favorite all-arounder. I don't want an all-rounder.
All-rounder.
What does that mean? Okay.
Have to look that up in the basketball. Do you want me to go ask Rob?
No, it's okay. A smart, strategic player. Come on, Tamsin, we all need this book. You have a cat in your lap.
I
so
know.
You can just mentally narrow yours down.
I'm going to have to.
All right.
It shouldn't be called a rabbit hole, though. It should be.
It's like they're where they go to live in their burrow hole. Okay.
No, I know. I mean, I know what a rabbit hole is. I just don't know if a rabbit hole is a good visual for
For what you're trying to
the
describe.
hole
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
in.
The Venn diagram, is it more like a Venn diagram? They overlap. You're looking
It
at where they
is. Yeah,
overlap.
yeah.
Okay, there
yeah.
we go.
And if you enjoyed this video, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah.